What's up guys, it's Oblivious Gamer here, and today I wanted to talk about my impressions on Ys 9 Monstrum Nox demo. So the demo just came out recently on PS4, and I managed to download it and try it out. Now, Ys is a series of action role-playing games developed by Falcom. The first game in the series, Ys 1 Ancient Is Vanish, was released in 1987. So this is a series that has been going on for a while. The Ys series chronicles the adventure of Adol Christine, a young man with a zest for adventure and an uncanny knack for being in the right place at the right time. Now, I'm not an avid fan of the Ys series, and I have only played a few games such as Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, so please excuse my ignorance in some subjects or topics about the franchise. Now, as far as I understand, each game is contained, so Adol is always the main character, but most of the time each game features new characters and a new plot, and they tend to be self-contained, so you don't necessarily have to play all the games to be able to jump to the next one. Sometimes Adol meets characters from previous games, but it's not anything too big if they show up, and also sometimes there can be references or nods to other games, since the games are not in chronological order. Now, Ys 9 Monstrum Nox takes place in Balduc, northeast of Asteria, in the Glia region under Roman control. Wow, that's a mouthful. Balduc is known as the prison city for its large prison facility inside the town and its architecture featuring high walls. In the recent years, rumors of beings called monstrums are said to have started appearing. Monstrums are said to possess unique supernatural abilities. Some of them seem to be helping the poor and helpless. Others are just outlaws. You play as Adol Christine, the game's main protagonist, who is falsely accused of being the prime suspect behind the disappearance of a Roman military fleet during a voyage in the Atlas Ocean. With the aid of the mysterious cloaked female and him having a new disguise, Adol works to break free from his imprisonment. During the course of the game, he gets caught up in a strange incident involving the cryptic prison city and the monstrum. So the demo I played, I would say I had fun. This demo is basically a timed demo, so you can select between two dungeons to explore, and the difficulty. Once you select the dungeon, you will have 10 minutes to freely explore. I have to say I'm surprised these dungeons are so far from what I've seen decent in size, with many routes to take and explore. I thought they would be much smaller, or I would be finishing the dungeon before the time was up, but it seems like I ran out of time before I can manage to explore everything, and there's a lot to explore. Personally, I like that since I know there's a lot to look forward to when the game comes out, especially with this dungeons to explore. And obviously once the game comes out, I can take my time to explore around to find chests since there's different routes. And obviously with the demo being 10 minutes, I really wasn't focusing on trying to get the items from the chests. Now, one thing I like from this game is that it has added different forms of traversing the areas. So for example, you can wall run on vertical walls to be able to reach higher areas. There's also the ability to warp to locations, and eventually you can unlock the ability to glide in the air. So quite the options you got there, and the dungeons seem to play with that, creating different routes you can take and areas to explore. That requires the use of these forms of traversing. Sometimes you have to use two of them to reach a specific area. I really like that when they give you different options and that they add different routes using these forms of traversing, since I feel sometimes some games introduces mechanics, and because there are just so many mechanics, some just end up not being used or forgotten. So I like that the dungeon will make you use all the available forms of traversing, so you can be on the lookout to see if you can wall run, or to see if there's a point that you can warp to, or even if there's an area you can reach just by gliding. At least that's what it feels like with what I've been able to play in the demo. Combat in the game is not complicated. I personally enjoy it. You can have your attack button, which you can press multiple times to do a combo, and then the characters have skills you can use by pressing R1, and you have access to 4 skills. You will be able to unlock more of them, so you will be able to set up the skills you want and how you want to play. You can also evade during combat, and a well-timed evade will cause a small slow-mo moment. There's also a meter that you will fill while in combat, which can lead to like a boost mode. You can also switch between characters mid-battle to use their different skills. Playing as different characters is fun, as design-wise and weapon-wise they feel very unique, like using Raging Bull feels quite different than using Doll. And their choices of weapon add to their uniqueness. Also, like any RPGs, you get items such as potions you can use to, for example, restore your health. There are items you can collect such as weapons or armor, which will help your character and increase their stats. As I said, I really enjoy the gameplay. For me, it's fun. Yes, it's not super complicated, but it can be really fun and satisfying when performing these skills and just comboing into some of the moves. Also, I'm still learning the game, so of course there's stuff I will not be good at until I get used to it, such as, for example, performing a good time evade to be able to get, for example, that slow-mo moment. For graphics, don't expect too much from the game. The game was originally released in Japan back in September of 2019, and after a while, we're getting the game here to the West. Not to say 2019 games aren't good looking, but just so you guys get an idea, as Falcom was still using their old engine at the time. They now recently moved to a better one if I'm not mistaken. Also, at least for the demo, the AI seems to be having problems. It would constantly just run against the wall before you engage them. Also, if you don't set up your AI companions to defense, they would just constantly charge if there is any enemy nearby. Even if you're like at a top level and this enemy is like at a lower level, your companions will just run to engage, which can be a bit annoying. I'm hoping these two things are just something from the demo and not something that is prevalent in the full game. Overall, I'm looking forward to Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. It is a game I have been wanting to port it since it came out back in 2019, but I decided to wait once it was confirmed it would be coming here to the West. And finally, the game will be coming out fairly soon. So Ys 9 Monstrum Nox is coming out February 2 of 2021 for the PS4. There's also a Switch and PC version planned, but that is supposed to come out sometime summer 2021. So yeah guys, what are your thoughts? This has been Oblivious Gamer, and I hope you'll have a wonderful day or night wherever you are.